Bitcoin is finally seeing a price pump in the action here today, but the question now becomes, is it possible that this is all just one gigantic bear flag ready to break to the downside at some time here in the near future? Or, on the contrary, does this have the characteristics here of a classic accumulation zone, potentially looking to act as the launching pad before a retest of the highs? What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Crypto Kirby here, your cryptocurrency expert, back with another edition of the daily live stream. What is going on, my friends? Today I'd like to discuss Bitcoin and the action we're seeing inside the chart right now. In addition to Bitcoin here and those potential two scenarios that I outlined in the introduction that I want to look at, bear flag or accumulation. What I want to do here as well is look at some of the top altcoins, Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, and potentially Litecoin as well. And I want to look at them and understand, are we looking at a potential market bottom in terms of the altcoins? Keep in mind, the Bitcoin dominance has finally been dropping from above 70% down to now at a 66%. Are the altcoins showing a sign of a potential bottom? If so, may this indicate a potential bottom here as well for Bitcoin. I also want to look at potential resistance ranges, shorting opportunities, longing opportunities, etc., etc. So let's dive right in. So as a full-time trader, I'd like to discuss with you my strategy, my game plan, and how I plan to crush this market right now in the immediate term. So without any further ado, you guys already know the deal. If you like these daily crypto videos and nightly live streams, smack that thumbs up button, click the subscribe, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Moon the likes, ladies and gentlemen. Moon them up. All right, so we'll begin with our Bitcoin technical analysis. And of course, before we begin, this is not investment advice, this is not trading advice. These are only my own opinions, ideas, and speculative hypotheses on the market. Always do your own research and your own due diligence before investing or trading, as this market is extremely high risk, and I am not your financial advisor. I will never tell you what to do with your trades or investments. That being said, let's begin right here on the one-day time frame. We're looking at Bitcoin USD here. And what's very interesting is that today's daily candle has not closed yet, but if it is to close essentially where we are at the time of recording here, around 8,250, this would now be a bullish engulfing candle. A bullish engulfing candle here along the bottom line, where we've seen a double bottom and essentially now, as of yesterday, a potential triple bottom support being formed. You guys see this, right? 1, 2, 3 times. And if today's candle does close where it is, which is probably a safe assumption to make at this point in time, although it is not essentially guaranteed, right? We could see that we are beginning to form this flat line base of support along the bottom here. Now, why this becomes interesting is because this is what we've tended to see here over the course of the past few months for Bitcoin, even going back over a year at this point, right? We've seen this over here where Bitcoin formed a flat line of support before a capitulation down. Then, inversely, we saw a flat line of resistance along the top before Bitcoin broke to the upside. Then again, my friends, we saw it right here on our bull flag before our final rip to our blow off top near 14,000. Then again, here at our blow off top zone, creating a flat line of support along the bottom of the descending triangle pattern formation before the breakdown to where we are at right now. This is starting to have very similar characteristics to me here, just like we saw on the bull flag up, right? We had our flagpole up, bull flag with a flat line of support along the bottom, minus this one little heinous wick, which was due to external factors, if I remember correctly, on one single exchange. And what we could see here is that right now, to me, this looks like the same flag pattern with the same baseline of support, but in the opposite direction. We have our potential flagpole down, followed up by a flat line of support building along the bottom on the one-day time frame with a series of lower highs being created, right? 1, 2, 3, and now potentially 4 if we do not eclipse this. And we should all know by now that when we see a flat line of support along the bottom followed up by a series of lower highs, this, my friends, creates a classic descending triangle. Downward resistance, flat line of support along the bottom. This is inherently a bearish pattern per classical technical analysis theory, especially in the midst of a downward trending market or trend. And that is exactly what I'm seeing right here, right now, with the potential that this may turn out to be yet again another bearish descending triangle, which in this case, coming off of a move down this sharply, would be more so characteristic of a bear flag, which leads us to putting in our measured move, which you could see I already have outlined here with the flagpole, that if we move the flagpole back up here to the baseline of support, let me just get this back there, the baseline of support to our breakdown point, right? You see this point 1 and point 2, and then we take this flagpole and we move it down to the bottom of the support line where it may potentially break. Gives us a pretty, nasty target region here of down potentially into the low $6,000 region. Let's get this crypto. Now, for me, things to consider here. If this is going to be negated as a bear flag and wind up actually being a bullish accumulation zone, what we need to see is that this bullish engulfing candle here today that's eating up the prior day's bearish candles here, we're going to need to see it take out this prior high. And really, ladies and gentlemen, in order to negate a fake out, to give us the best probability of the bulls breaking out here, I really want to see it get above this high right here, my friends, at about 85.35 right here. If Bitcoin can get above this region and close a daily candle body above this region, in my opinion, at that point, I would be fairly, what's the way to put this? I would feel good that the bear flag may be negated at that point in time, that we may now be looking to test upwards back up potentially into the $9,000 region. Right now, until proven otherwise, I see nothing other than just the same characteristics of which we've seen time and time again all throughout this market in the past year or so. I just don't see anything different at this point in time. And you guys should know by now that what I'm looking for here is a potential drop down into the zone of the golden Fibonacci retracement if we are to see this play out. Now, sure, we could get the measured move that plays out much further, right? But what we should be looking at here, in my opinion, is a potential breakdown out of the this pattern here, right? And if we are to get that, I do see that there's likely going to be a ton of potential bullish confluence around that 0.618 Fibonacci, around the $72.50 level, right? This in and of itself will probably be a zone where the bots are going to look to get aggressive. But if that bullish support is not there, right? Say that we get down to around 72.50 and the selling just continues, I do believe that this may in fact have an inverse effect, and we could see this thing rip down much, much further into the crypto abyss. And if that is in fact the case, I don't want to rule out the possibility of the low $6,000 region here. Let's get this crypto. Now, say we are to negate this, right? Negate the downward sloping resistance of the lower highs, right? We break through it. What I'm looking for here is a BART, a very easy to spot pattern here, which would be we pretty much retrace the entire breakdown, which in this case is the potential bearish flagpole, which would just be a move right back to roughly from where we once came, up towards that $9,000 to $10,000 region. Keep in mind this zone here, this red box, okay, which for me is between 9,300 and 9,800 here. Keep in mind that this is going to be a very staunch resistance point in my opinion. And why is that? It's because old support per classical technical analysis theory, old support loves to become new resistance, right? And if we are to get a BART here, keep your eyes on this region between 9,300 and 9,800 for a potential reversal point before a continuation of the downtrend. Let's get this crypto. And until proven otherwise, that for me is looking like the point of where I'm expecting there to be a potential, at least a short-term top before we could get another rip, or a short-term top before we get our continuation of the downtrend. Let's get this crypto. So now that's Bitcoin. The real interesting stuff here for me today, ladies and gentlemen, is the altcoin market. I'm seeing a ton of potential opportunity here in the altcoins. And you guys know I've been not really avoiding, but I haven't seen much opportunity in the altcoins from a larger perspective, purely because the Bitcoin dominance has been so high for so long now. I mean, it's obvious to see here. This has been a parabolic uptrend in the Bitcoin dominance. But now, for the first time in quite some time, the market is giving back some of that allocation from Bitcoin back into the altcoin market. And what I want to do now is look at these altcoins from two perspectives: the honey hole, potential accumulation zone, and the inverse honey hole for a potential spot of rejection where traders may come in to look to short. Because right now, you guys should know that I'm looking to play this absolutely aggressively here. And Bitcoin right now, one, is looking like it may be on the brink of an epic move in either direction, which I will be trading to the best of my ability. Shout out to my VIPs. I will be keeping you guys updated in VIP with every single trade I make here. But right now, the altcoins are starting to look very potentially opportunistic to me here. And if that is where the largest potential gains are going to be coming from, then you best believe Don Carbonaccio is going to be looking to play them to the best of my ability to crush this market and get this crypto. So let's dive in to the altcoins. But if you are just tuning in now, don't forget to moon up the likes, moon them up, smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell. Let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. Sheesh. So let's begin here. I actually want to just look at the total cap first. We're going to look right now at the total cryptocurrency market cap, including Bitcoin and altcoins, both. Okay, this is what we're looking at here. If you are subscribed, you would know that I've been showing that this chart in particular has been front running the rest of the market, right? And we are already at this point in the trend here that looks like when Bitcoin was around the $6,000 stagnation, okay? And oddly enough, here on this chart, this is the golden 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. And at this point in time, it does also look like a beautiful potential bear flag just ready to drop out, right? And we're seeing that the 618 Fibonacci is acting as this staunch support level right here, right now. I mean, look at how closely it's respecting that, right? And I'm sure, look, if we switch this over to a line chart here, let's see how that looks as well. I mean, you guys could see how nearly pinpoint accurate it's holding this level, right? Insane. And for me right now, that is the last hope for the market in terms of holding a bullish perspective here, because you could see the next logical zone really is down here at this cluster with a bottom target of the 0.786 Fibonacci, which, if we use our price range tool from this 0.618 Fib, drag down to the 0.718, I mean, we're talking about almost another 24% drop to the downside. Heinous, ludicrous, and a borderline inverse debacle, if you do in fact ask me. Rather, a regular debacle. If you're long, if you're shorting, it may be an inverse debacle. Okay, now let's look at just the altcoins. This takes Bitcoin out of it. The altcoins have already hit this 0.786 Fibonacci. Okay, and right now, if that loses its support, which it has acted as support perfectly. Again, let's look at the line chart here. I mean, look at it. It bounced right at that region and has not come back down since. So there's two ways to look at it. One, this is potentially just the last line in the sand before a potential heinous, ludicrous drop, potentially to lose all of the gains of the entire move as a whole, right? Or that this may just in fact be the bottom, right? Where we saw now that we broke out of this ascending triangle to end that bear market, right? Just the opposite of this here, right? This was a bearish descending triangle breakdown. Here, we have a flat line of resistance along the top with bullish climbing higher lows, which then broke the resistance ceiling and ripped to the moon. Now, again, as mentioned earlier in the beginning of the video, per classical technical analysis theory, old resistance then loves to act as new support when back tested. If we are in fact seeing that this ceiling of old resistance here back in the early part of the year, climbing out of the bear market, is to now act as a new support floor and a launching pad, this could in fact be the bottom. So now let's look at some of these coins specifically, okay? Let's begin here with Ethereum. Now, what I want to look at here for ETH is that this chart really looks very, very similar to the total altcoin chart. I just want to show you this, right? Keep this in your mind here, this structure. And let's just for 1 second go back to the altcoins only. I mean, this almost looks like we're looking at the Ethereum chart, does it not? So keep this in mind, as Ethereum is the number 2 in terms of market cap. It's the second largest market cap coin in the cryptocurrency market at this point in time. And the chart does look very similar. So for me, ETH is very closely following the movements of the market as a whole, right? At being that large of a cap, okay? Or rather, you could look at it as ETH's movements here are essentially dictating what may potentially happen with the rest of the market. You understand what I'm saying. So now, what I'm seeing here is 2 potential honey holes, right? And as I just stated, I'm looking at these from 2 perspectives. One, a bullish honey hole, right, where we may start to see accumulation from bullish traders. And 2, an inverse honey hole, where we may begin to see shorting opportunity come in for those that are looking to be bearish on the market, right? Now, of course, these honey holes here, they don't have to have any significance. This is just, per my analysis, regions that I'm seeing potential for these occurrences to happen, right? So just like I was stating on the altcoin chart, Ethereum had a resistance ceiling here, which wound up being a bullish ascending triangle, series of higher lows, and a resistance line that was then broken. And right now we have just back tested that old resistance ceiling, and we are now seeing it built at least at this point in time as a short-term unproven new support. And by unproven, I mean we haven't back tested it yet, okay? Sure, we came down, we went up, we came back down, but right now this is where it's going to be the make or break, in my opinion, as if we do test this here again, right, if we get rejected and come back down, this is probably, in my opinion, going to be the point where it's put up or shut up for Ethereum, meaning that if it tests this level and we break down, that may be the last time that we see it at this region. And on the contrary, if we do finally break through and eclipse this prior high here around 224, then we tested the bottom, ran up, got rejected, tested bottom again, ran up, and if we break through this old resistance ceiling here to then negate the lower high structure you can see outlined with the X's, my friends, it may just in fact be off to the races for Ethereum, okay, from a bullish perspective. So right now you could see that I have Ethereum is just at this point in time here. I deleted it just now. Let me get this back here. I'll draw it again. This area for me, ladies and gentlemen, right here, where we are at right now, oh, my screen is lagging. Right here, where we are at currently, is potentially the bullish honey hole, okay? And for me right now, this is the last chance here for the bulls, that if they are not going to be able to hold this level any further, then it would negate that bullish outlook for me here, as then we are back below this resistance ceiling from our bear market, right? And that did not act as new support here like you'd want to see, and it is just a further bearish confirmation, in my opinion. Let's get this crypto. So for me, we're still inside this region where the bulls may look to show some buy pressure, right? Now, if we get up any further than where we are at right now, we do get into this potential reversal spot for me here, which is between 186 and 196. And you guys can see this is old support here, which may look to act as new resistance. Also here, old support may look to act as new resistance. Old support may look to act as new resistance, etc., etc. You guys see this here, right? So for me right now, things to consider on ETH right now is that this could be either the point where we're going to see this act as the new support built off the resistance of the bear market and ready to launch, or my friends, this is going to in fact be the last little chance here, the last hope for Ethereum before we drop deep down into the crypto abyss. Let's get this crypto. I see potential here, both short and long, and I'm going to be looking for trading opportunities, of which I will be posting all of my trades on Ethereum for you in real time in VIP. I'm looking to crush it if I see potential opportunity here, and I will be posting my trades on Ethereum for you in VIP. Let's get this crypto. Now, let's move over to, we'll go to XRP next. Now, for me here on XRP, the honey hole for the bulls is definitely further down in the trend. Now, I want you guys to see this here, that I have this red line drawn, which has been the support range for so long now. We could see that back in back in July 2017, we had this resistance level form, and it was resistance once, twice, thrice, and 4 times before we then broke out to the ultimate all-time high. Then, after that crash, it acted as support for a long, long time, ladies and gentlemen, over and over again. After breaking and closing daily candles below this level, we crashed heinously, back-tested, rejected, back-test, fake out, heinous little fake out, right? That was a brutal fake out. I definitely see merit that people could have thought this was bullish, but it was a fake out, and now we've plunged below again, and we're back-testing another time here. And this range for me, the inverse honey hole, I'm actually going to make this red here so there's no confusion. The inverse honey hole here, where I do believe a lot of short pressure is coming in here, is between 28 cents and 30 cents USD. And that is purely based off of this multi-year trend line that we've seen act as support and resistance time and time again. And if this is going to be the point of rejection here, well, my friends, even from the bottom of the inverse honey hole, right, we could see that just from the bottom of that range to the top of my other range, which I'm going to explain in a second, that is a 30% drop nearly. And if it goes to the bottom of that hole, wow, over 40% to the downside. Let's get this crypto. I am going to be looking for potential inverse honey hole shorting opportunity on XRP, and I'm going to be keeping you updated with my trades in VIP when I do in fact take them, if I do in fact take them. Let's get this crypto. Now, in terms of the bullish honey hole for XRP, the XRP army may not like this, and again, it's nothing against the coin, the technology, etc. It's just that for me, I really don't see much in terms of bullish value, if you will. It doesn't mean it can't just go up from here. Surely it could go to the moon. Anything can happen. But in terms of the chart and where longer term speculators may be looking to put in some capital, for me, it's looking more so like this range down here between 19 cents and 15 cents, as this was the last accumulation zone before that rally to the upside. And the reason for this, ladies and gentlemen, and why it could go down so far, in my opinion, is because then you have a defined range here, right, between these two levels. Now, unfortunately, this is not what very bullish blind hope XRP hodlers want to hear, but this could be the range. Say that the market goes a little stagnant for a while, right? Say we do wind up seeing that the altcoin market just completely bubbles back down and goes even to new lows than what we've seen back at the beginning of the year. It's possible, in my opinion, that XRP trades within this range like this for a while, and it's a huge range, right? This is a huge range of nearly 50% to the downside, which say that we got to the bottom of the honey hole, right? And a speculator took a position around 15 or 16 cents, right? And then rode it up bullishly just to the underbelly of the potential bearish honey hole. My friends, you see, that's a 73% move to the upside, right? So traders don't care about any of this, right? Traders love this action. Oh, Fibonacci, it's going to ping pong? Amazing, right? That's what you're looking for. But the degenerates and these average Joes and James at the water coolers, they only see, oh, Kirby, so you're saying XRP isn't going to be $3 again, Kirby? You see that this doesn't matter, right? Because if you're a trader, a move like this to ping pong and then go back down, I mean, look at what we're talking about here. If this was the ping pong, heinous gains in both directions, right? So for me right now, I do see that we may start to see a new range being created here for XRP, which you best believe Don Fibonacci is looking to strike upon. If this ping pong and new range is in fact going to occur, I'm going to be looking for positions to potentially crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can, both to the downside and to the upside here on XRP as well. This one does look like it has a lot of opportunity for me, ladies and gentlemen. And you guys know, if this market does provide the opportunities for potentially life-changing trading opportunity, I do not like to squander it. I like to grab it by the horns and ride it either to the upside or to the downside to the best of my ability. And I'm going to keep you updated with all of my trades here on XRP as well, both to the upside and to the downside as I look to crush this market and get this crypto. Let's get this crypto. I will see you in VIP right now after this video. Now, let's look at Bitcoin Cash here as well. This is a very unique one for me, ladies and gentlemen, as we are again now really into no man's land here, right? We are in a large gap zone, and it already broke down out of what I saw as a bearish head and shoulders pattern. But right now, for the time being, it's actually found some support. But we start to get into some very interesting territory right almost right above where we are at right now. For me, the first bearish inverse honey hole is around 246 to 255. Okay, and that is based off of this old cluster of old support over in this region. Then we had a bounce at this region, right? You guys can see a lot of support, which, what a gain. Ding, 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 chicken wings for dinner, tofu if you're vegan. That old support may now look to become new resistance anywhere within this range, okay? If it is to get above this level, this, my friends, look at it. This is the zone here for me. There's a lot of confluence right here, okay? And this is between 269 and 280. Now, for these ranges, you have to understand, I mean, if you're looking at this from where we are at right now, sure, this could climb up a whole lot. This is, 20% to the top of my range here. And these ranges, of course, they're just speculative on my behalf. But right now, I am looking for potential inverse honey hole potential in here for shorts, ladies and gentlemen. Again, I'm going to keep you updated with all of my trades on Bitcoin Cash as well, BCH, in VIP, when in fact I do take them. Now, if we are to get rejected there, you guys see, I have my bullish honey hole way down here, ladies and gentlemen, and you guys can see that the amount of percent loss from these potential honey holes. Wow, I mean, both nearly 40% to the downside from there, which would be heinous if they were in fact to go down that far, would be potentially life-changing in my opinion. And from a bullish perspective here, this is the last hope zone for me in terms of a bullish perspective here. And you can see it's a pretty large range. I mean, that is an over 14% gap here, but I could see, I'm speculating upon that this could be a bullish accumulation zone where this could be the realization of this bearish head and shoulders breaking to the downside. Hold on, let's just get this extrapolated measured move here. We're going to take from the top of our head down to the bottom of the formation. And we're going to drag this over, okay, to the bottom of the breakdown. You could see that the extrapolation does in fact go to a new lower low, to essentially a new all-time low for Bitcoin Cash. But either way here, the fact is that this is very close to the old bottom, and there is a ton of confluence here in terms of old support, which we may look to find accumulation, trade sideways before then looking to retest up. Let's get this crypto. And just like XRP, what if this whole range here now becomes the new zone, right, of ping pong? Look how large that range is, ladies and gentlemen. It's insane when you look at it from here, right? If we go up to that, it's essentially a 100% range here, okay? If this was to be the new ping pong range. So you don't need this market to be going parabolic, right? Look at it from this perspective. This market doesn't need all of this heinous activity like this, right? It could just wave around sideways like this, and we're talking about immense, potentially life-changing swing trading opportunity here. So what I'm seeing in the altcoins right now, ladies and gentlemen, is a ton of potential opportunity here. We'll look at Litecoin as well right now. This to me as well is potentially right at the last level of potential bullish hope for this region, as if we do climb up into this red box here between roughly 62 and 68 USD. If we get rejected here, it wouldn't surprise me to test lower into these honey holes, ladies and gentlemen, potentially looking to even retrace the rest of the move. But right now, Litecoin is a little bit different than the others, as it has been more bullish than the others. The rise here on Litecoin was absolutely heinous, over 565% from the bottom. Let's get this crypto. And right now, I think the bulls are trying to make a stand all throughout the move here. But if we get rejected between 62 and 68, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see this continue lower. Let's get this crypto. So what I want you guys to understand here is that right now, for the first time in quite some time, with the Bitcoin dominance now going back down below 70, and with the way that the charts are structured for Ethereum, XRP, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, etc., you know, the top cap coins, I'm beginning to see potential opportunity here in these coins, and I'm going to add them into my bag of tricks here to potentially start shorting and longing these as well when I see that these honey holes come to fruition. If they come to fruition, let's get this crypto. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, right now, I hope that you see that as this market is moving sideways here, there is a ton of potentially crazy action looming in the shadows here. It's brewing in the background, right? And the thing is for me right now is that this is the time to strategize and plot what you're going to be doing here. And for me, I'm going to be keeping you all updated in VIP as I strategize, as I make my plays, enter my positions, etc. I'm going to be posting all of my trades for Bitcoin and the altcoins for you in VIP in real time. Many are going to get wrecked here. Many are going to get caught like a deer in the headlights. And let's face it, ladies and gentlemen, many are just going to flat out miss these potential opportunities, okay? So I'm going to be strategizing to crush it and take advantage of these opportunities to the best of my ability. And I'm going to be posting it all for you in VIP. So today is the day. It's time to transform yourself from average Joe into savage Joe. Let's get this crypto. Shout out to all my VIPs, and shout out to all of my new future VIPs who are joining this VIP right now after this video. I will see you all in VIP right now. I'm ready to get this crypto. I'm ready to crush this market. Are you? Let's get this crypto. I will see you all in VIP right now. If you could, one last time, my friends, moon up the likes, moon them up. Smash those thumbs, click the subscribe button, tick the little bell, and let's get this crypto. Satoshi needs a new pair of shoes. So guys, if you could, share this video in your chats, share this video in your socials. Let's see, will the honey holes play out? Or will the inverse honey holes wind up taking an immense toll on this market and crushing many moon boy souls? We'll have to see. Either way, Don Curbinaccio is ready to get this crypto and crush this market like a 2-ton man on a tuna fish can. Let's get this crypto. I'll see you all in VIP right now. Let's get this crypto. And until next time, my friends, the Don has spoken. Be safe, be happy, be healthy. It's your boy, Crypto Kirby. Peace and love, my friends. Curbs.